Hi there, I'm Linden Thorp. Welcome to Your Body is Your Business Plan, the Masterclass. Every week, we're here on Wednesday. We have embodiment topics to talk about. I'm an embodiment mentor, as you can see, and we bring on a guest. And today I'm delighted to say we've got Dr. Marlene Greenleaf. So I'll be introducing her in a moment. But first of all, to set the scene, I'd like to play a voiceless video. I do this so that it's totally inclusive for hearing impaired, for ADHD sufferers, and so that I can attract as many people as possible to join in this event. So bear with me and I'll share my screen. And we'll start a short presentation, 3 or 4 minutes, that's all.
So thank you for indulging me there. And I hope this gave you some idea what we're going to be talking about today. I'm in a state of shock because I've got a lot of data about children who are suspected of being deaf, but in fact are not at all hearing deaf. And this is becoming a serious problem in schools. I'm working with Dr. Gwendolyn Laver, who is really a great scholar and a great expert on phonics and sound development and so on in children. And she has done lots of studies. And yeah, it's really shocking that our digital activities are really changing the way we are accessing cognition, meaning that children will look up at somebody speaking, but they can't make meaning out of the sounds. And therefore, they can't read later because the interpretation of sound is the first stage of reading. As my video said, sound is the most ancient thing of all, long before we had language. And I feel a mission to try to change this. So I've developed my Lodestone product, which is a 30-day program to rebalance the way we hear with the whole body, using the whole body. So let's talk more about that in a moment. First of all, let me introduce to you my guest who has graciously given us her time. She's really busy. She is Dr. Marlene Greenleaf, DBA.
She's the founder of M. Alexander and Associates, which is a strategic consultancy that helps leaders and mission-driven organizations grow with clarity, confidence, and purpose. With over 35 years of experience in leadership development, empowerment coaching, and organizational support, she equips clients to strengthen their operations and step fully into their power. Marlene's mission is to create sustainable impact by helping professionals and organizations align vision with strategy and expand their influence. Without more ado, let me bring her onto the stage.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Linden. Thank you.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, I bet you forgot you'd given me that.
I did.
I knew it. Oh yeah, I never
did.
let anything like that go. I always keep everything. So I was all prepared. So how are you today?
I am doing well. I am
Good.
doing well. It is
Oh,
Wednesday morning. Actually, it is my husband, my 20th wedding anniversary today. And we're stuck in the house
lovely.
because it's cold. But we are here and we're
Oh,
happy. Yeah, it's cold. It is cold.
but thank you so much for giving up your anniversary day to come and talk to me. That's wonderful. I
No
had no
worries.
idea.
No worries. Look, he's asleep, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. So it's very early with you, I think,
Yes,
Marlene.
it's
Is it?
7 o'clock. It's 7:14 a.m. here.
Oh, wow. Well, it's
Yeah.
nearly bedtime here in Japan. It's 9:15. Well, not exactly
Oh,
bedtime.
well, we will let you get ready for bed so we can go ahead and get our topic started. I'm usually in bed around
Okay.
that time.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd be really interested to see what you felt about the video and the
I
messages I
really
was
enjoyed
sharing.
it, to be quite honest. I did enjoy it,
Good.
and I even was doing the breath. As soon as you got to the part with the breath, I was and
Oh,
humming
wonderful.
because that that for me makes a huge difference, and I don't
Mm.
think a lot of people understand the importance of breath work, of taking a
Mm.
breath, of being outdoors, of walking, like you said,
Mm.
being grounded, putting your feet on the ground, and just walking,
Mhm.
enjoying nature. How that uplifts you because we're just so busy all over the place. So, like you said,
Yes.
this topic that we're talking about today, where you're glued to the television or your phone, social media, you're
Mhm.
not taking that time to just go out and to
Mhm.
experience fresh air and to take that breath and to breathe. So I actually loved the video. I was just watching it and I was like, and I followed along with all
Thank
of the
you.
instructions that you were giving. So it was wonderful.
That
Absolutely wonderful. Thank
oh,
you.
that's great. Well, I'm just so keen to. I'm a real inclusion person, so I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that everybody can access this amazing topic. And I know that many people struggle with ADHD. You know, they can't. Uh, their concentration span is very short. So,
Yes.
yeah, I like to do this at the beginning of everything I do, really, to include them.
It was
So,
wonderful.
oh, good. Thank you. I'm so glad. So glad. So, yes, I am so shocked by all of this data that I'm getting. I'm sure you know all about this. Um, it is really shocking, and it's very motivating for me because, as an embodiment mentor, I just want to get my hands on these kids and get them, just show them how alive they can be with just a 20-minute meditation. I do a lot of whole body listening meditations, and they can become a tiger in a jungle, and every hair follicle, every skin pore is alert and aware, and they can really come to life.
Yeah.
I've worked a lot with kids, and this is what happens. They just completely transform before your eyes. You're giving them permission to use their whole body to listen instead of this little tiny a part of the body, you know. So this, to me, really speaks to the obsession with everything neuro. You know, the ears are so near the brain. Everything's
Mhm.
contained in what I call the limited mind. It's a fabulous mind, and I'm not knocking it at all. We need
Mhm.
it, of course, and it's excellent. It can be brilliant, but we can't live from that mind,
Yeah.
can we? And that's what these kids are doing. They are glued to their devices all the time, and nobody stops them, and they've got headphones on all the time, and that is the worst culprit for really reducing the cognitive connection between sound and understanding.
Yeah.
So I'm
This
a
is
big
this is actually a timely conversation because I just had this conversation with my daughter who is an educator and she works with, the kindergartners, and she was saying the exact same thing, that because they have the devices at school, it's difficult for her to sit with them to actually learn the words that their curriculum that they're scheduled for, because all they want to do, she said, is work from their devices. And or if they're not listening, they put the headphones on, and she
mm,
says, I am struggling to get these kids to read
mm,
from a book. And when we say
mm,
read from the book, is to understand, read exactly what's on the book, read every word because they skim through the words, she said, because again, they want to get back to their devices. So yeah, this is not something new. It's common, and unfortunately, with the technology that we have for the schools and for the kids to learn, the devices, it's not the best for the students because that's all they know right now. I mean, when
mm.
was the last time you actually picked up a book and sat down and opened that book up to read that book? Because,
Yes.
like you
Yeah.
said, their attention span is so short. When you start
Mm,
reading, it's like, no, I want something else to do. No, 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 because you just can't stay focused on reading
mm.
that book. Now, a device is something different because you can actually slip from one topic
Yes.
to the next.
Yes.
Social media, you look on, what is
Yes.
it, YouTube, you have TikTok, all those things. So your device, you just slipping through stuff. So
Yeah.
that is how they're learning, which is not, as you said, from your research, it's not really helping. So again,
No.
like I said, it was an actual timely topic because I literally had this conversation with my
Oh,
daughter over the past weekend, and she is an
wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, yes, I'm so glad I've been made aware of it because I don't work with children nowadays. And so I only have the kind of hype from the news and so on. But actually, Gwendolyn Laver has really informed me about her work and the problems she's getting. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you know her, but she's in the States. Not sure where
I
she
did.
is.
I did Google her and read about. I did Google and read about her information when you shared it with me. So yes,
Oh, did you? Oh, good.
I surely
So,
did.
so yeah, we
Technology.
yeah. Oh gosh, you're really amazing because you put all this together so quickly.
Digital age, there's a good and a bad in it. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's a really great source of information where you can pull this information from. But then again, there's bad when you get stuck to it, and it's like, okay, how do I get away from it? It's a funny story I was telling my daughter when we were talking about this. I reminded her. I said, I don't know if you remember, her brother, her older brother, when, what is that thing called? Like those little games came on board, and the kids were just glued to it. And my son, of course, we didn't get the expensive ones. I waited until they got on sale. Can't remember what they're called, but these video games. But it was video games back then, and he
Mm,
was really hooked to it, to the point where he would not get out from his room. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't take a shower.
mm,
And it's because he was stuck in this
mm,
game. And everything is like, Mom, I got to get to the next level. I got to get to the next level. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And what did I do? I, just like you did my research, and I read an article saying how dangerous this is becoming for our
mm,
kids because they're like zombies
mm,
zoned in on it. So I read that and I said, you know what? the game's got to go. So I went in his room and I took all of those cassettes, those video games, and I put them in the trash. And he's like, Mom, do you know how much that costs? I said, yeah, I bought them all. I do know how much they cost. I said, but what it's doing to you, this is not going to work. So you will no longer be playing these games. And if you want to play them, you choose one and you have a 2-hour limit, and that's it. That's it. If not, the whole system is going. I throw away your games, but if you keep this up, I'm going to get rid of the system. And she looked at me. She's like, oh my God, yes, I remember that. Chris was so upset. I said, yeah, he was upset, but he was obsessed. He was
Yeah.
upset, but he was obsessed with this game. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been even, with these video games, these kids, that's where I strongly believe that that's where it starts, where they just get so engrossed in it that nothing wants to take them
Nothing.
away from it, because it's like, we've got to get to the next level. I've got to win. No, not on my watch, son. I threw them all out.
Good for you. Good for you. I think this is really so sad that children need these kind of stimuli. I've got to get to the next level. And the video designers really are so cunning about this, because of course they know that children will love that sense of achievement, but it's such a false, spurious sense of achievement, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
that's what is the future of our race in general. These are the leaders of the future.
Exactly. And one of the things also that I shared from when I was doing this quick research, what I realized is, like, yes, we do have the problem with our children, but it's fallen off into us as leaders also. Because the simple thing, which is what it is, I had to remember, I said, we have to make a distinction between hearing and listening. And a lot of times, like when your article and what she said also, is that we hear things with our ears, like you said, but how is it being translated? That's because we're not listening. And I say that all the time, not just to my family and my husband especially, but to my clients. You hear me, but are you listening? And they look at me like, yeah. I said, no. Are you listening? I know you can hear what I'm saying, but is it absorbing? Are you listening to what I am saying? And I always ask, as part of my speech, repeat back what it is I said to you. Let me make sure that you understood what I said. And I do the same in turn. I say, okay, so from what you said, here's what I understood. And 9 out of 10 times, I get a response like, oh no, that's not what I meant. But that's what I heard you say when I was listening to you. So again, you see, we have to make that differentiation. So again, like I said, it's not just our children, because like your article said, it moves from our children to adults. So I don't think it's the reverse, where the adults pass this on to the children. The children, they emulate what they see from
Of
us
course,
as
of
adults.
course. Yes.
So if we're not taking that time to listen, cognitively listen and understand what where people are saying, active listening, then the same thing goes for with the kids, because we as adults do the same exact thing, the same
Yes.
exact thing. So
Yes.
here it is, you're seeing this in children, but it's already manifested in us as adults.
Absolutely. And I see it all the time. I work with coaches, and not only do they not really know what embodiment is because they've never experienced it, they use the word very skillfully. But when I say, well, what did it feel like when you experienced embodiment? Oh no, I haven't really experienced it. So I said, well, how can you talk about it if you've not experienced it? And that's, for me, the beautiful thing about embodiment, because you can't write about it in books. You can't read about it in books. You actually have to get in there and feel it.
It's an experience. It's lived. It's like I when we were talking about it, I said to myself, I said, listening, listening is more than a language. I mean, for me, it's the foundation of a human connection. I mean, let's think about how the children learn empathy, which is something we as adults are struggling with also. They have to learn that through tone, pauses,
Mm,
laughter,
mm,
and comfort. But the digital sound strips, it strips that away from these
mm,
cues because it
mm.
is designed to entertain and not to connect.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm,
Just like with my son and his video games, it's entertainment. But how was he connecting through it? He was just ready to get to the next level. He had to win. So it's entertaining, but it's not connecting. So as a
mm,
result, obviously, we see how our children, they live in these high volume environments, but they have these low connection spaces. I mean,
mm,
because they're surrounded by words, but they're
yeah.
starved for meaning. And
Mm,
when that meaning, I believe when that meaning is lost, we see the ripple effect, such as reduced focus, frustration with reading, difficulty in relationships, and I mean, and even anxiety. And this, unfortunately, like I said, is not just with our children, but it's manifested with us as adults also.
yes.
So that to me is
Yes.
something that we really have to get back to understanding and practicing active listening. It
Mm,
makes a huge difference. It makes a, especially in this digital age where everything consumes you and we are so easily distracted because
mm,
there's just so much we want to see and do. And that device, our phone, sometimes
yeah.
we just need to throw it away.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you that I refuse to have a phone. I haven't got a phone and I refuse it.
Beautiful. It is
Yeah.
the best thing.
It, it's such freedom. I use my iPad, but I don't use it as a phone. I do video conferencing, but I don't have a phone because I can't stand this thing so close to my ear. You know, my ears are so sensitive, and I never ever wear headphones. I can't.
Yeah, I
I
can't either because I there's something about my ears. My husband laughs. He's like, I think your ears are too big, but I can't put headphones up to my ear, or even the worse, put them in my ear.
well,
Oh,
neither can I. That's really interesting. I can't. They
I
won't
can't do
stay
it.
in.
No,
They're just,
exactly.
and my ears are very soft. So if I tried once to put headphones, they just fell off.
Yeah, there are different variations that I have tried. Even like because everyone says like when you're running for long distance, it's always good to have the music something in your ear. No, I use the music in my head because when I put it in my
Mm.
ear, it's a distraction because I
Yeah.
immediately start feeling like, oh my God, it's hurting. Oh, it's uncomfortable. Oh, I have to turn it this way. So that's a distraction for me. So what I do
Yes.
is
Yes.
just like with your humming. I have learned without even realizing it the beauty of humming. And that
Good
takes me
for
through
you. The vagus
my
nerve.
whole run.
Yes.
I did my last half marathon I did, no music, just me humming through the whole
Brilliant.
process, and it made a huge difference. I didn't need it. I had the music already in my head, and I was able to
Mm,
hum through the whole process, do my breath,
mm,
and finish that half marathon. So it does make a difference. It absolutely does make a difference. And I think,
excellent.
with our children, we have to teach them that beauty of just sitting still and enjoying and, like you said, being in the moment because they're
Yes.
just so fidgety. They just don't feel comfortable. If you just
Mm,
sit quietly, they're looking like, well, what else? What can I do?
mm.
What can I do? And
Yeah.
my daughter
Yeah.
says that because she works with the kindergarten, and she says, look, it's difficult for her to keep these kids there. She says sometimes she literally has to go to her students and put her hands on their thighs and say,
Mm,
I need you to not move because they're sitting and their little thighs are just moving
mm,
because they're
mm.
like, okay, what else we gonna do? I just can't sit still. So she
Yeah.
literally has to help them because they don't even realize that that's what they're doing. So she said, I
No,
literally have to go
no, it's
over.
unconscious, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
kind
have to go rub my hands on them.
yeah. Wow. It to me, it's like it's a kind of mirror of scrolling. So, if you're
Yes.
constantly scrolling through your phone this way or that way, then the body wants to go on with that, because
Right.
you're going to find something lovely, you know, that will attract you and absorb you for a few seconds, and then you'll scroll on to something else, you know. So yeah, it's an easy way to live. And I can't believe that these kids are, you know, supposedly deaf. They're just,
No.
and I'm a musician. I started out life as a musician. I am a musician, but so before I really got into communication skills, which I've been teaching at university for the last 20, 30 years, I was a performing musician. And so basically, to me, even now, and even though I write and I love writing and I love reading, sound is the most precious thing. So if I hear a bell ringing, bell ringing or something like that, my whole body is alert to that. And I think I've always been a whole body listener.
Yes.
And it never occurred to me that other people didn't do this until I was in the Australian desert with a group of Australian Aboriginal tribal people who were going back to their traditional life. And I was part of a group that were helping them to do that, because they were elderly and there were young children. And we would be walking due south in incredible heat. And we would go ahead and build shade shelters so they could rest during the day, and then we'd walk at night. Well, during that time, this was the absolute turning point of my whole life, because suddenly we'd be walking and suddenly one of the elders would stand stock still, and usually put one leg up and stand on one leg, stock still, beautifully symmetrical, beautifully poised. And at first I wasn't sure what it was, but of course we all stopped and waited. And then he would turn to us and say, we should shelter, there's a sandstorm coming. And there was 10 miles away. He was using his whole body to detect those vibrations. And it's extraordinary, you know. So I then, at that moment, I thought, I've been doing this my whole life as a musician, you know, and I'm going to teach people how to do this. This is fantastic. So, of course, their vagus nerve is in tip-top condition, and they are just so close to the earth. They are the genuine custodians of the earth. I have the deepest respect for them. And they taught me so much, especially about how to listen.
I would love that. They are truly grounded. And that, like you said, it's something, even it's innate in us, but it's something that we have to be more cognizant of, and something that we have to keep practicing on a daily basis, because there's just so much that can easily drown us out in this digital age. So again, like I said, it's not just for our children, but we as adults have to realize that we have this problem also, and we need to do something about it. We need to stand up for this. It's like we have to do this for our children. Okay.
Yes, we do. It's our legacy.
Have them caught up. Yes. Because I don't know if you remember when we were growing up, there was this thing called, what is it called? Latchkey kids.
Yes.
How parenting.
Yes.
That's where it started. Because
yes.
it's like, okay, that for me is where it started. You call latchkey parenting, where you would leave your kids at home, turn the television on, lock the door, say, don't open the doors for anybody. Here, watch the TV. That's what they did.
That's when it started.
What they did. And that, for me, I strongly believe is where it started. Latchkey parenting.
I agree. I think you're right. And I think that now, I mean, here in Japan, of course, everybody has devices here, but they are Japanese are largely computer illiterate. They're wizard with phones, but they can't use computers. And so my students would have a panic attack once I got them to use a laptop. Couldn't
Wow.
cope with it at all. Now, that's completely different to your image of Japan, I'm sure. But, so, these kids and young parents, I watch them all the time. They can't wait for their kids to get hooked on something on their phone. And the first thing these kids do when they come into a restaurant or whatever is ask for the phone, demand, phone, give me, they're crying to get their phone. And they spend the whole time engrossed in the phone.
Yeah.
The 2-year-olds, even young, I mean, what's happening to our human relationships? What's happening to, the closeness of a mother and child?
It's gone out the window. One of the things that I know the school systems are doing now, which parents at first they were totally against it. It's like when you come into the school building, you have to give your phone up. So what they do is like they have like a little plastic bag that you put the phone in. I think it has like a number on it. So you put it in that bag, you have your number, and you're not going to get that phone until school is out. Why?
Excellent.
Distractions. Again,
Excellent.
here it is. The kids have these phones.
Yeah.
And you're not learning because you want to stay on the phone, you want to send messages, you want to do these little TikTok dance and stuff, and you're not paying attention. So they just started instituting it. I think they're doing it in Virginia now, and the parents were like, "Oh my God, what if there's an emergency?" Now we have a system in place for an emergency. That's what we're there for. But your kids and these phones, we are taking them away so our students can learn.
Excellent.
Okay. And like I said, you would think why are we at this point now? We are at this point because, like that article said, the kids at first we thought something was wrong with them, that they've got hearing problems, but they don't. What it
No.
is, it's that digital. It's digital. It's the
Yeah.
phone, and
Yeah.
even the laptops that they have at the schools, at least for the where I've been, it's like those Chromebooks. And it's not, you can't get on the internet. You can't get on the World Wide Web with it. It's just for learning. The kids did not like those Chromebooks. They wanted to throw them in the trash. But that is what you have to do to get these kids away from just being out there, because the first chance they get, the first opportunity they get, that's where they're gonna go. I want to see what's the TikTok vibe. I want to know what's the deal for today, and I want to get involved in it. But no, not while you're in the classroom. And unfortunately, that's the window you have while you're at school. But as soon as you release them,
they're addicted. I mean, it is an addiction.
Yeah, so it's something, it has to be learned not just in the classroom that we have to make these changes, but it has to matriculate into the home as well.
Yes.
One of the things we were talking about also is that we have this program for adult learning program. And I was stressing how important it is that one of the key goals for this group is that they want to teach the adults, so the adults can encourage their kids to want to learn. And it has to be a lot of times, like you said, with the whole latchkey parenting, where it's like, you go ahead and you do this and I'll do my thing. So you have parents who are not fully educated and they want their kids educated, but they don't want to get involved. So this program is showing parents how important it is for you also to be involved in this educational system.
Brilliant.
Because this actually will encourage your children to want to learn and to want to be better, not just by you sending them to this campus and saying, okay, here, I'm giving you my kids, teach them. No, when they see that you are just as interested in the education, in their education, that motivates them to want to do more. So it's a cycle. I don't want to say it's a vicious cycle, but it's how we learn. We children emulate what they see. So we have to, as adults, like I said, we are just as engrossed in this digital age. So we have to start. It has to start with us, so that we can teach our children that there's so much more. Like you said, go outside and just enjoy nature. Get your whole body feeling again. We don't even do that. I mean, physical education in the class, in the school system is what? 30 minutes of activity, running the ball and basketball back and forth. That's not enough. We need to get them back into nature. So I love it when the
Mm,
kids are going out on nature walks, going out to farms. Like they have different
mm.
farms that they go to. And I just get so excited when the kids go.
Yeah.
I'm like a big kid. I was like, yes, we're going out. We're going to the cabbage patch. We're going to the pumpkin patch. We're going to see strawberries.
Wonderful.
And they just have such an
Well,
amazing day.
at the end of the day, the first learning that children do is by modeling their parents and their adult,
Exactly.
the adults around. So whatever their mothers and fathers and grandmothers or whatever do, the children will want to do the same.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
our legacy, I'm very concerned about our legacy.
Yes.
Not talking about money and precious stones and stuff. I'm talking about how to live. We've got to get to, as you say, we've got to stand up, we adults, and we've got to stand up
Absolutely.
to make sure we are leaving the right kind of legacy for
Yep.
these kids, these screen kids.
Yeah. Because one
I'm
of the
so
things I was
concerned.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
Oh, go
okay.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, because one of the things I was sharing with my daughter, because like I said, this topic that we're talking about, I
That's
had this
amazing.
conversation with
Yeah.
my daughter who is an educator, and I was sharing with
Mm,
her. I said, I think, and she's one of those creative teachers. Okay, she believes in just having conversations, having kids touch and feel and stuff and create stuff. I told her, so well, I think one of the a few things that you can do, and she said, she said that she'll start thinking about it. I mean, the solution, of course, we can't eliminate technology because it's here. It's the
no.
future. Okay,
Yes.
we
Yes.
cannot
Yes.
eliminate it, but we have to somehow restore that balance, which is what we're talking about today. You have to find a balance for this technology and for you just being able to say. I think so. I think if we sort of like reintroduce practices that can help the brain to slow down and
Mm,
process and
mm,
interpret sound naturally, I think that's a
mm,
good start, which is what you're doing with your program. So for
mm,
me, I told her, I said, I think it would make a whole lot of sense if we try to create quiet spaces for our children. So
mm,
just like me, I wake up early in the morning and I have my little quiet time where I just sit, I do my breath, and I just say nothing. I think of nothing. Now,
mm,
this didn't come right away. This is something I have to practice. So I think if we try that with with our children, create quiet spaces for them, where you give them
mm,
moments for like no background noise, okay, so their
mm,
minds can rest and integrate
mm,
what they've heard. That would be a start, and it's difficult. I know it's not going to be easy because for me, I could not meditate for 2 seconds. Literally, when I started this, when I realized that, because my brain just wouldn't shut off because there was so much going
mm,
on. And this, I think,
mm,
if we start with our kids, showing them the importance of just being quiet for just 1 minute, just
mm.
1 minute. Start off with 1 minute,
Yeah. Yeah.
quiet space. And what she does, because her quiet space is she has a closet in her classroom, and she has kids who are mentally challenged. So she says what she would do, she would put the headphones on this child when she sees them getting real frantic. She puts the headphones on this time, and she said, "Do you need some quiet time?" And the child says yes, and she would put him in the closet, and she would let him stay in the closet, and she's right there with him, and but allow him to have that quiet because he's overstimulated. And she's
Mm,
like that also. I realize that my child gets easily overstimulated. So she understands. And she knows that once he gets fidgety, it's like, okay, maybe we need to do some little quiet time. I think if we look at that as a whole for our children, where we
mm.
start with those quiet spaces, okay, let's start with that. Let's go back
Yes.
to reading aloud, some things we don't do
Yes.
anymore. Okay, why? Because you have that tablet. so you can read from the tablet. But if we start by reading aloud daily, I feel like the rhythm of language with the ups and the down tones, just not make it monotone. Just create that lovely balance where you're telling
Mm,
a story. I mean, this
mm,
will teach our children how sound becomes meaning. We went to this library, and they have all these books, and I was just so excited because I'm like a kid in a candy store. You say books, I'm there. And this one, I mean, they have all these books, and I'm looking, and I was like, well, where's the story of Ferdinand? Because that's what I read to my kids. I love that story about Ferdinand. I was like, how do y'all not have Ferdinand? I said, who do I need to write to tell y'all that you need to have the story of Ferdinand? And they're looking at me like, Ferdinand. So, of course, I had to go online and I showed it to them. And they're like, oh, I know that story. Why did they know the story? Because they turned the story of Ferdinand into a movie. So that's how they know it. But I'm talking
oh,
about the actual
oh,
book, which I truly enjoy
mm,
reading because it has all the different tones that you can go through. Where you tell
mm,
the story of Ferdinand, who literally he's a bull, but he was just the calmest bull in the world. He did not believe in fighting, so the matadors they all got together. They were waiting for him to get big and ready to fight, and Ferdinand was like, "Yeah, no." I'm just gonna sit here and smell the roses. But you have the different tones that you share. So my kids really enjoyed that book. So that resonated with them when we were talking
yeah,
about Ferdinand. So if we start to do that, instead of just
yes,
doing it on a basis, like when you have what is it? I think it's what is it called? When you have like these read aloud books, it's not something that you do every single day, but it's like for certain sessions that you do it. So I think if we try to do that every day, read aloud daily and make it exciting,
yes, yes.
make these
I
kids realize that
agree.
that excitement is not only found in the tablet, but here it is in a book. Let me make this book come alive for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and of course, for us, practicing mindful listening, which is what we've been talking about. So you
yes.
ask them, what do you hear right now? And let them identify, like the hum of a refrigerator or the birds outside or their own breathing. It's like, what are
Mm,
you hearing right now? Because as we said, we know that the problem is not here. They definitely can,
no,
but
no.
how is it translating to them? So you ask that question and listen to what they're saying and what they're hearing. So it
Mm,
makes a huge difference. So it's these
mm,
simple things. I figure we just go back to the the basics, which we learned by the way when we were growing
mm.
up, but we
Yes,
just
indeed.
practicing
Mm,
it as we became adults because again we got caught up in
mm,
technology. We love it.
mm.
So
I must say, I feel so sorry for kids today, really, because I personally never a bedtime went by without a story, without a
yes,
story read out loud,
yes.
without that wonderful, close, rich voice of your parent,
Yes.
sending you off to sleep in your warm bed. I mean, I can't have a better feeling really than that.
Yeah,
And
we don't do that anymore.
we
Who who
don't.
would who would think we don't do stuff like that anymore? And we definitely need to, because
Yeah.
you, as always, we as the parent, we just caught up. So you want them to, hey, look, go ahead and watch this video, and then fall asleep. And then when the kids are asleep, you come and you take the tablet and you put it away. But no, you have to be there, and you have to make them enjoy the actual book itself, and you have to read it. And I mean, I love doing that. That was the
Mhm.
best thing. And my kids will tell me too. If I wanted to rush through a story, sometimes I would do that. My daughter would go, Mommy, you missed a whole page. She's like, that's not what happened. I was like, oh, okay. And I go back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I want to go to bed. I don't want to read the whole story. But they know because they're invested in it. Just like you said, it's something that they
Yeah.
look forward
Yes.
to. And they want that
Yes.
story. So don't miss a page. Do not miss a page.
Miss
Okay.
a
You've got to
page.
go through the whole story.
Absolutely.
And like
Because
if we're
yeah.
grown, you learn. So it's these
Yes.
simple things I think that we need to get back, not just in the
Mm.
classroom, but at home also. Start being more
Yes.
engaging with your children. Let them appreciate sound in its natural sense. And when we say,
I
like
was
I said, you
just,
know, I'm no expert, but I do understand the difference between hearing and listening. And we have
yes,
to teach our
yes,
children that also. It for me, it makes a huge difference. Huge
yes.
difference.
You've just reminded me very much that reading aloud, okay, the parent or whoever has to know the text, but reading aloud is pure sound because the
Yes.
child is getting sleepy. And to me, it's like it's equivalent to listening to a fabulous symphony. It's music. It
Yes.
is music. And imagine what life was like before words, before language. Our lives were full of sound, just sound. No
Absolutely.
symbols, no symbols. So that's what my work does with Lodestone. I go below the symbols. So in
Yes.
the inner core, no symbols. So no images, no words, only my voice guiding. Um, and so then people really get uh, underneath all those symbols. And what do they find? They find reality. That's where reality is, right below all those symbols. And it always amazes me that nobody questions why, in the visual world, we work with symbols
Mm-hmm.
behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? It's very interesting.
Yep. I just love it. I
Semiology.
know the ones where you have the bowl, where you just make that sound with the bowl. At first, I will admit, I was like, that's curious.
The singing
Hmm.
bowls. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
But
yes, yeah.
now I just love it because it brings that calm, and all you're
Mm,
doing is just spinning around like this. I
yes,
even got myself one. I was trying to practice it myself. I'm not that great at it, but I'm like I do like it because I understand and appreciate, like you said, what
mm,
sound does, how
mm,
how it morphs. I want to say morphs through your whole system.
yes,
Sound. If you really take that time to listen to it, and it clears your mind. It absolutely clears your mind,
yes,
and it's
absolutely.
something that we all need. Not just
Mm,
our children, but we as adults, we need that
definitely.
quiet time where we can just exhale
Yeah,
and say,
yeah.
just appreciate who we are and where we are, especially I hate to say it, but but in these unprecedented times that we're in right now, we need this more than ever because people are just they're going through a lot, and there has to be an escape for you, and that escape is not with technology because you get on there and you hear the news and all the false report things that are not true, and it just stresses your life out even more. I
Mm.
love the fact that you said that you don't have a phone.
No,
People are like, "What? You don't
I
have a phone?"
no, but I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in having a phone.
Yeah. So that
Um,
like I said, it's things like that that we have to get back to. You have to make that conscious decision to say, "Hey,
mm,
I need to get back to self. I
yes,
need to
yes,
redefine who I am." And like you
yes.
said, finding yourself through sound, that is the
Mm,
best way because you appreciate yourself so much more. You know who you are. You are more in
yes.
tune with your feelings and yourself to the point sometimes, I would just sit there and, tears will be coming down my eyes. And I'm like, I don't know why
Yeah,
I'm crying. But it's
um,
something. It's
yeah.
something during that quiet time
It's
that
the
just
body is so
moves you.
relieved
Yes,
to
it moves
to
you.
be still, and yeah, huge
It
relief.
It's amazing, and I,
Mm,
I I just wish that we could do so much more of this, not just for
mm,
our children, but for us as adults. Because I know, like, we have when the kids, but it's more for the kindergartners, where it's sleep time, where you turn everything off and you bring out their little mats and they lay for like 30 minutes
oh,
and they just
yes,
go to
no.
sleep. We
Mm.
should do that for all
Yes,
of our
siesta.
students.
Yes, yes.
All of
We
our
should.
students. I'm
Yes.
talking about the high school students also. Find some time where during this busy cycle of the school system, we have some time where you just rest. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about when you go into the cafeteria because that's a whole lot of noise and talking.
Quite.
I'm talking about where you actually find that same quiet space that you do for our babies
Mm,
while they're in school. You
mm,
continue it. You find some way to incorporate that with the
yes.
kids because during that quiet time, like you said, that's when the sound comes out. That's when you start
Yes.
hearing and appreciating
Yes.
things.
Yes. And the whole
Old
body
school,
is
but it's a good thought.
attuned.
It's something that I want us to do because I do that because my husband laughs at me. He's like sometimes after it's like I just need a minute, and I would just leave my office and I would just go in the room and just lay on the bed. And he's like, "You okay?" I
Yeah.
said, "I just need a minute. I just need a
Yes.
minute," and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's it. I just needed to refocus, just
Yeah.
get it back because there was just so much going on within the day, and I needed
Mm,
to come back to self. And how am I going to do that? I just need some quiet time.
yeah. Well, me
So I
too.
will take that.
I break every 40 minutes and I do about 7 or 8 minutes of meditation and I stand and I sit and I, change my posture all the time when I'm working. And yeah, I sustain long hours of work very easily with that kind of regime.
Yes,
Um, Marlene, it's wonderful to talk to you. You've got so many great ideas, and I'm so glad you made it to spend time with us. And I hope you'll come
yes,
back again so we can
absolutely. I truly appreciate
know.
our time together. I know we've been missing each other, so I made sure. Actually, I woke up this morning and I was like, I have something to do today, don't I? And then I got the technology. I got the reminder on the phone. Ding! It came in. I was like, ah,
Oh,
yes. So I said, let me go ahead and get that together.
oh, I'm
So
so glad you
it's a good
made it.
thing. It's a good thing as long as it's on my calendar. So the technology is good for us in some ways. In some
In
ways, it
some
is
ways,
good.
yes, it's
But
true.
as
It's
long
true.
as we remember to get back to center, get back to ourselves.
Yes,
And
we
once
we
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 learn
need
this
to.
with our kids, yes, we need to do it for our adults. So, but it starts with us. It definitely starts with
It's a
us.
tool. I mean, it's a fabulous tool, and this is a fabulous
Absolutely.
tool. We can't live from that, and if we do, we break. And then
Yep.
we've got burnout, we've got, all sorts of terrible things happening to people because it won't put the tool down. That's what I'm
No,
working with all the time, really. They're addicted. It's addiction, really, truly addiction.
definitely it is.
Anyway, you haven't made your little speech because we've been chatting so much, and I knew this would happen. I knew we'd want to really talk, and so you have to come back, and then you can really hold the fort and make your points. And yeah, I'd love to know more about what you do, and I'd love to work with you at some point. It would be fabulous
Absolutely.
if we could do a
Absolutely.
workshop or
We
something
will
together.
definitely do this again. But I mean, this was a much needed conversation. So I'm excited that we got this opportunity to share this and
Yeah.
just have a discussion, an open discussion about it. Why? Because we didn't just hear; we were listening to each other.
Yes. Brilliant. Oh, thanks so much for coming. And actually, we've got comments coming in. Just a moment. I'll see what people are saying. Oh, yes. Oh, lots of people are saying, wow, this is very interesting. And yeah, we've got quite a lot of people watching. So that's great.
Perfect.
So thank you so much. And
Yes.
I'll be in touch and I'm going to send you stuff so you know what I'm doing with my
Okay.
programs and I'm just creating a program for kids now. But
Yes.
I'd started it already, but now I'm full of zeal to get it ready in
Need it
order
more than
to.
ever. And look, and my daughter will thank you for it because, like I said, she's an educator. She's working with these young
Mhm.
people, and I know she will be excited to learn how we can get our kids to appreciate sound more
Brilliant.
than technology because she has limited resources. She can only do so much, and it's
Yeah,
not just her.
yes,
I mean, it's all of our educators trying to
yeah,
figure out how we can create that balance, get our kids
yes.
back to self. And that, again,
Well,
like I said, it's not just for our children, but it's for us as
no, for
adults
us.
also.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
I'm
we
really
need those
looking
learning
forward
materials.
to getting out there and helping as many people as I can with.
Perfect.
I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll get working together on it.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you
Thank
again for this
you.
opportunity. You take care. Now you go to bed.
Yes, I will, and you get up.
I am. I'm going to go for my walk now.
Okay.
Take care. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Wow, that was great conversation. Thanks so much to Dr. Marlene Greenleaf. We always knew we had a lot in common, but it's finding the time to really talk to each other. But this has been great today. So if you'd like to know anything more about what we do, please DM me and I'll put you in touch. I'll leave you Dr. Marlene's profile address so you can find out what she does underneath this window. And yes, I hope that we have raised future generations are, appearing to be handicapped. So we've got to address it, and I'm working to try and get some things together for children now, as well as my lodestone for adults. Balance people's body, spirit, and mind. So if you'd like to know more about that, please let me know. We're here every Wednesday. This is Your Body is Your Business Plan, the Masterclass. And in fact, Your Body is Your Business Plan is the title of a book I wrote earlier this year, which involves many of the things we were talking about today. But it's basically about how in business it's essential to include and involve your body to remain balanced, because when you're starting a business, you need so much energy. So take a look at my book if you're interested. It's on Amazon, and the audio version is just about to be released. So I'll be promoting it anyway. And if you would like to come and co-host with me, we are completely full for this cycle, which ends in mid-December, but we'll be starting again in the new year. Then please apply. We'll send out the application form soon, and it's a great way to really pin yourself down to going live. I know a lot of people who really want to do it, but they are scared because they don't know what to expect. So I'm here to support and to help you give an embodied performance, not a performance, a presence online. And the screen is perfectly permeable. Don't worry, we can communicate our authenticity very well through the screen. So thank you so much. And I've got more comments coming in. The children, the future, awareness. Good, super, lovely to have such lovely activity going on from our audience. Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. Next week, we have event 9. There are 13 events in each of these cycles. And I'll just tell you what our topic is. Event 9 is, oh, yes, this is very interesting, ethical visibility practices. A colleague and friend of mine called Dr. Annika Sørensen, Swedish doctor, is real expert on the ethics of embodiment and visibility. So she's going to come and co-host with me. So come and join us next week and find out more about that. Thank you so much. We'll put lots of links under this live window, and we'll see you next week for Your Body is Your Business Plan. Avoid burnout. Thank you so much.